Okay, so in this unit, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be proving that an object given on the coordinate plane, meaning you've got the coordinates of the vertices, you're going to prove that it is or is not a specific type of shape. And you basically have three tools in order to do this. Two of them you know already, and then the third we're going to introduce, and then I'll tell you where it comes from, and then you can practice using it. So the first tool is slope. You know what the formula for slope is. Slope is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And what is slope good for? Slope is good for proving lines parallel, but it's also good for proving lines perpendicular, which leads to right angles, which is something that's useful. What do we have next? We have the midpoint formula. The midpoint formula, you already know, is going to be the average of the x's and the average of the y's written as coordinates. And what is the midpoint formula good for? The midpoint is good for proving that segments bisect each other. Because basically what you're going to do is you're going to prove that two segments have the same midpoint and therefore they bisect each other. The third one that you're going to learn about today is called the distance formula, and it's basically how we measure the length of something. So I'm going to give you the distance formula first, and then on the next page we'll explain where it comes from. So the distance formula is going to be the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so there's the formula. What is it good for? It's good for proving that segments are congruent because it gives you their lengths. Okay, so where does this thing come from? Let's take a look at something here. Let's just pick two random points on here. I'm going to put a point here, and I'm going to put a point over here. And I'm going to call this point x1, comma, y1, and I'm going to call this point x2, comma, y2. Now, if I connect them with a segment, what we can actually do is we can now form a right triangle there and then to there. Okay, and the length of the blue segment is y2 minus y1. I don't need the parentheses. I'll take that out. The length of the blue segment would be y2 minus y1. So like in this case, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus negative 2 is 7, and that's exactly what this is. And then the length of the green segment would be x2 minus x1, which in this case would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus negative 4, which would be 9, which is the actual length of that segment. Now, what is that good for? Well, you already know from Pythagorean theorem that since I have a right triangle, the hypotenuse is equal to, so the a squared plus b squared is going to give us our hypotenuse squared. So this all comes back to Pythagorean theorem. We have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, well, a in this case is going to be our x2 minus x1. And then our b squared is going to be our y2 minus y1. And our c squared is going to be our hypotenuse. So that's going to be what we're looking for. So that's going to be c squared. And so if I take the square root of both sides, I get the distance formula. I'm going to get x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared equals c by taking the square root of both sides. And so this is where the distance formula comes from. The distance formula is essentially Pythagorean theorem. So when you see it in use, just understand that what that's coming from is that's coming from Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so now I've got some practice problems for you to do, and so you can get very accustomed to these tools, very good at using them. And then in the next couple of lessons, we're actually going to apply them in order to prove in coordinate geometry proofs.